Donald Trump's brain is falling apart at like kind of the worst time for both him and for Pete Hegseth, because they've been accused of potentially committing another war crime. And this right here is the best defense he was able to come up with against those accusations.
Can you talk a little bit about the strikes and the controversy around Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth?
I don't know anything about it. He said he did not say that, and I believe him 100%.
So you don't know if there was the second strike to kill the two men after they were injured in the first strike?
He said he never said.
Would you be okay with that if he did?
He said he didn't do it, so I don't have to make that decision.
Oh, he's a strongly, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about anything. Why do you ask me questions? I don't know what's going on, and I'm very scared and confused. I don't know anything. Also, I had a conversation with him about it. Know why you would have the conversation about it with him if you don't know anything about this. But he had the conversation, and Pete Hegseth, obviously known for truth telling, he says he didn't do it, so that's fine. I mean, why would I, as the president, why would I look into it beyond that? I just believe people accused of crimes when they tell me they didn't commit it. That's certainly how every other part of my administration runs. I'm not gonna actually like look into the reporting, ask the people involved in the decision, the other people. Why would I do that? I would just trust a guy like Pete Hegseth because, while libs like John Iadarola might disagree with him, he's obviously an upstanding, a very serious person. And you can tell that with the social media activity that Pete Hegseth was engaging with in response to this news that they committed this war crime, which we'll give you all the details for. But first, the memes. Yeah, no, I don't think AI should exist. When you see this image, you'll probably agree. This is what Pete Hegseth posted. Franklin targets narco terrorists. You see, he's hanging out of a helicopter, and there's these boats loaded down with verifiable drugs and guys with guns. Obviously, the vast majority of the strikes that we've engaged in are nothing like this. It's just a boat that we blew up with. But what if it was a cool adventure and we got a rocket launcher and we do this or whatever, and then we blow it up? Of course, he is facing allegations that he murdered defenseless people. So kind of gross, doesn't inspire me to want to just trust his word on this. But let's get to the actual reporting. So international and US law prohibit the intentional targeting of defenseless persons. Okay, so that would apply in the case where you've sunk a boat that you say is carrying drugs, and maybe some of the time it even is, and then there's just people floating in the wreckage, and then you say, kill those people. You're not actually legally allowed to do that. I mean, none of this is even happening in a war anyway. All of this is illegal. All of this is outside the bounds of sanity, let alone international law. But even then, you've sunk the boat that you chose not to just capture. You can't just murder the person, right? Well, that is evidently what Pete Hegseth did. The Washington Post reports multiple sources saying that Hegseth ordered to, quote, kill everybody on an alleged drug boat in an early September attack, which reportedly required 2 strikes after an initial one failed to kill all on board. So they hit the boat 4 total times, okay? Twice to try to blow it up, which they did. It was probably never gonna be able to make it to the US anyway. And after it's been blown up, it's never going to. And then they're like, there's people alive. If they live, they might reveal information that would make all of this look bad. So let's go kill them. Go kill those people not involved in a war with us. They're just alleged criminals. We're just saying that they're criminals or whatever. And so evidently they did that. And in response to that, a group of JAG officers, so in the military, legal officers that would investigate this sort of thing, released a statement addressing the reporting and concluded that it would potentially be a war crime based on what we know. Saying, quote, if the Washington Post and CNN reports are true, the 2 survivors of the September 2nd, 2025 US attack against a vessel carrying 11 persons were rendered unable to continue their mission when US military forces significantly damaged the vessel carrying them. Under such circumstances, not only does international law prohibit targeting the survivors, but it also requires the attacking force to protect, rescue, and if applicable, treat them as prisoners of war. Violations of these obligations are war crimes, murder, or both. There are no other options. And making it even worse in terms of the optics of this for them, if they've got this boat, it's blown up, 9 out of 11 are dead. You have 2 people floating in the wreckage, pick them up. bring them in, frog march them before the cameras, put them on trial. I mean, after all, each one of those boats was gonna kill 300 trillion Americans or whatever. These are massive criminals. Wouldn't you want to show the trial to demonstrate our might that we can take them down? But for some reason, they didn't want to do that, JR. They just wanted to kill him. It's almost as if they don't want those guys to be able to say anything that would damage their precious narrative. What do you think?
It's pretty clear. And it's also the way that I guess they expect people to just listen to and believe everything that they're saying. By the way, this whole investigation, and they're gonna go into the investigation, they're gonna look into this, and these JAG officers, if and when this really happened, the way that I guess, the way our normal now MAGA judicial system works in this country is ask the perpetrators, ask the criminal in the White House, yo, did you do this? Ask the blatant liar in the Department of War, Pete Hegseth. Hey, Pete, did you do this? And he goes, no, why would I do that? I mean, I only bragged about it. Donald Trump only said how much he's killing fishermen. Everyone in this administration has been celebrating and complaining about all of these folks. In fact, what Trump Jr., maybe even Eric Trump, all these losers have been talking about how they can't wait to see more blood splatter all over the ocean because that's awesome. But no, we didn't do any of that stuff. So therefore, the investigation is concluded and we believe them because they said they didn't do it. That's what I'm waiting on is the next step, and we're supposed to just move on and not see any of this happen. By the way, John, they've already normalized this process by just acting like and saying that this thing that they're doing, whether or not people disagree with it or not. Well, like some people say that, we have a potential war going on here. What some are saying that? We're looking at the people declaring war without the normal processes for declaring war and say they're just killing people. And when those things get dispelled, they just move on to the next disaster. We're watching them commit crimes and then give us middle fingers when people ask for answers.
Yeah, no, this you're 100% right about your point about the normalization. This conversation is an unfortunate bit of evidence of the normalization. Why? Because we're talking about, oh, they went back and then they try to murder the survivors. Oh, maybe we got them. Maybe we got them. No, they couldn't do it in the first place. In the first place, it was illegal, but not anymore. It's not. That's been normalized. Now, just doing it, that's not news. That's nothing. But wait, if they went back to try to kill the survivors, then maybe that's illegal. That's how you normalize it. And then eventually it'll be, oh, okay, well, every time they blow it up, sure, they just blow it up. And then they try to kill the survivors. Oh, but wait. This time when they try to kill the survivors, it's an innocent person. That's how this works. It's like, oh, mass deportation without any legal process or whatever. Like that's horrifying for a week. And then it's like, oh wait, what if they send an innocent guy to CCOT? That's how the normalization works. We focus on the specific things because that's our only hope that anything can actually break through. And maybe it will. Probably not. Trump seems to be standing by Hegseth, who, well, let's put up this message he put on Twitter. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's just stupid lies or whatever. But he talks about, oh, it's fake news, it's fake news. The whole thing's intended to be lethal kinetic strikes. That dude loves saying lethal kinetic strikes. This dude, he loves saying these words like 7-year-old boys love saying T-Rex. It's just they love to say the words out of their mouth. These things are cool, aren't they cool? Aren't they really cool? I was that boy, I thought they were cool at that point. He never grew up. And then he's like, these are lethal, it's perfect. Then why'd you have to hit it 4 times, dude? It's a tiny little boat. Why'd you have to hit it 4 times? Here's a challenge, bring them in. If they're headed here, if they're gonna kill 300 bojillion Americans or whatever, then why don't you actually bring them in? Not that Hegseth is involved in literally any of this. Dude can't even throw an axe, let alone actually be a part of a mission like this. But anyway, it's lies and lies and lies and lies and whatever. I hope there's an investigation that actually matters. It won't happen probably during the Trump administration, but whatever, investigate him afterward. Haul him away, lock him up. Lock him. If the dude loves lethal stuff so much, he's a murderer evidently based on the allegations. Maybe he'd like to see some kinetic strikes.